What if a dark fantasy RPG and a gacha game were combined? Not the usual bright and flashy gacha, but something serious, cold, and punishing. That's Wizardry Variants Daphne. A game that doesn't just want your time or money, it wants your focus. In this video, we'll break down the gameplay, gacha system, grind, F2P experience, and why this game stands out from the most gachas today. The moment you launch the game, Daphne feels different. There's no loud anime intro, no pop-up banners screaming at you to roll for the newest waifu. Instead, you get silence. Heavy ambient silence. Fog, stone corridors, a subtle chill. The presentation is minimal, almost old school, and that's not by accident. Daphne draws heavily from its wizardry roots, embracing classic dungeon crawlers aesthetics. If you ever played early RPGs that made you fear every step, this will feel familiar. And that's what sets the tone from the start. This isn't a gacha theme park, it's a dungeon, and dungeons don't care. Daphne's gameplay is built around first-person, grid-based dungeon exploration. Every step matters. The map slowly reveals itself as you explore, and if you rush in carelessly, the dungeon will remind you why patience is everything. Encounters are turn-based, but don't let that fool you into thinking it's simple. Positioning, timing, resource management, they all decide whether you run ends in victory or a wipe. There's a permanent system here. Characters can die for real, and losing a built unit stings. It forces you to think like a strategist, not just a collector. Every fight requires your attention, and honestly, that's refreshing. You don't win just because your CP is higher, you win because you played smart. Daphne's party system is where the RPG roots really shine. You build a team of adventurers, each with their own roles: tanks, healers, damage dealers, supports, and utility units. You can customize formation, manage roles, and build around synergy rather than just rarity. A well-coordinated team of lower-tier units can clear dungeons that brute force teams might fail. Leveling up characters isn't just about pushing numbers. It's about skill upgrades, equipment choices, and understanding how they interact as a group. Every adventure has weight, because every adventure can die. Let's talk about the gacha itself, because this is where a lot of players either stay or walk away. Daphne runs on a more traditional gacha banner model. You summon characters through tickets or premium currency with different rarity tiers. The rates are fairly standard, but the design philosophy is different from many mainstream gachas. Here, higher rarity units give you an edge, yes, but they don't guarantee survival. Lower rarity adventures can still carry your party if built right. There's a pity system, a safety net for bad rolls, which is nice, and unlike many gachas, Daphne doesn't bombard you with 10 overlapping banners. It's more contained and more tactical. Whales can spend of course, but here's the twist. Money won't save you if you play dumb. This is one of the rare gachas where strategy trumps spending. Is Daphne grindy? Absolutely, but it's not the mindless kind of grind. Progression is slow and intentional. You don't just power level your characters overnight. Dungeons are challenging, and farming requires focus. But unlike endless auto-repeat gachas, Daphne's grind actually feels meaningful. Every run sharpens your understanding of enemy patterns, map layouts, and your own team's weakness. It's skill progression, not just stat progression. For free-to-play players, surprisingly good news. You can absolutely clear content without spending, as long as you build smart and invest time. Paid players will move faster, sure, but they can't brute force everything. In short, grindy, yes, but fair. And that's something a lot of gacha can say. Daphne's storytelling is subtle, and that's a part of its power. It doesn't dump lore on you through endless walls of text. Instead, it lets the world speak. You learn through whispers in the dark, scattered fragments of lore, and small dialogues. It's a slow burn narrative, like piercing together a curse that's been festering underground for centuries. The overall story is classic dark fantasy, an ancient evil decaying ruins and fragile human hope. But the execution, quiet, cold, and patience is what it makes it special. If you're the type who loves reading between the lines, this game rewards your curiosity. The art direction is moody, clean, and deliberate. Characters have a painterly style that contrasts beautifully with the oppressive dungeon environments. UI is minimal, almost dark, which fits the tone perfectly. Daphne isn't trying to distract you with sparkles, it wants your eyes in the dark. But what really seals the immersion is the sound. The echo of footsteps, the distant moan of a creature in the dark, the silence when nothing happens. There are moments where the lack of music makes everything feel more alive. This game understands that good horror isn't loud, it's quiet. Once you get past the early game, Daphne doesn't let up. The end game revolves around mastering the dungeon itself, not endlessly chasing meta units. High-level dives introduce brutal enemies and complex formation. It's a test of planning, adaptability, and your ability to recover from failure. Because there's no autoplay. It's a game built around replayability through mastery, not just content updates. Wizardry Variants Daphne isn't here to please everyone. It's not here to shower you with dopamine hits and instant gratification. It's a dark, methodological, brutal RPG wrapped in a gacha shell. It asks for patience, it demands respect, and when you finally push through that darkness and win, it feels earned. Not rolled, not bought, but earned. If you're looking for a quick, flashy mobile game, this isn't it. But if you're craving for something deeper, something darker, something real, Daphne might just be your obsession. And remember, in Daphne, the dungeon always watches.